Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to share my review of Deadlands Weird West Companion from Pinnacle Entertainment Group. This is written by Shane Hensley and Matthew Cutter with additional material from Tim Beach, Clint Black, John Goff, John R. Hopler, and Jessica Moore. This 96-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $24.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $9.99 over at DriveThruRPG. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the Weird West Companion for Deadlands. Of course, should mention that this is for the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. That means you must have the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition core book as well as the core book for Deadlands. So you need both of those to be able to use this. Do also want to mention that the fine folks over at Pinnacle Entertainment Group were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this review with you. And these days, it's very important that you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the companion, but I do want to give you a very good feel for what you're going to find inside and share my thoughts about it too. Lastly, there is a short adventure at the end of the book. So if you're a player and your Marshall, the game master in this case, has picked up the Weird West Companion and have not run that adventure, you might want to tune out at that point in time. You don't want surprises ruined simply because you were watching this video. So you may have noticed that the cover of this is different than the cover that was on the image that I shared with the Pinnacle Entertainment Group web address. Same exact book. In fact, that's the PDF cover. Same exact book, same contents, everything is exactly the same. I just think this is a more recent print run because the copyright on this is 2022. All right, let's jump on in. There is a lot of content squeezed into these 96 pages. So we are going to get some new edges for the harrowed, the undead. So we get some new edges for that. We're going to get 3 new archetypes. So you're going to get the Metal Mage, as well as the Voodooist and the Witch. So we will get some breakdowns of specifics for those archetypes, as well as some new powers. As you can see, there's the Voodooist. So we have new edges, new traits. And then we get a pretty large section devoted to relics. And these can be pretty interesting. So we've got items like Billy the Kid's hat, which Billy the Kid was lucky. The player who might own Billy the Kid's hat gets an extra Benny every game session. We've got Excalibur, which I thought was pretty wild. We have King Arthur's sword, Excalibur, in the mix. Honest Abe's top hat, which means that come back as a harrowed if you're killed. It'll automatically happen. And a drawback of it is when you're wearing the hat, you have to be honest in all your dealings. So I thought that was pretty wild. Next up, we're going to get Running Deadlands. So this is aimed at the game master as far as discussing various different themes, various different tropes. So spaghetti Western is something that you borrow from heavily in a Deadlands campaign. Although I have to admit, spaghetti Westerns come in a lot of different flavors. Some are a little more slapstick, kind of high adventure. Others are very dark and gritty. I really like this 4th chapter because it gets into the history of the Deadlands setting. Now, early in the book, we get a little history of Deadlands itself, but here we get a breakdown of the most recent history of Deadlands. I think it's from Deadlands Reloaded, if I remember correctly. And we actually get a synopsis of each of the major campaigns that have come before and have led to this point in the Deadlands setting. So I got to be honest, I would be really interested as a game master to pick up these in PDF and just run them for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition Deadlands, which that rule set isn't all that radically different than, say, Savage Worlds Deluxe Edition. We had the Hunting Grounds, which is a supernatural location Native Americans can access. Of course, player characters and NPCs can access that as well. We get into a famous NPC section. Many of these are historic characters. Some of them are fictional, but a good many are Deadlandsified historical figures, such as Belle Starr, Al Swearingen, Bass Reeves. So I like that quite a bit. We wrap up with an adventure, The Horse Eater, which originally appeared in Shadis magazine. So that's way back in the day. I gotta say, I'm not too thrilled with it. It's a monster hunt is what it really boils down to. Could it be interesting? Yes, with the right marshal running it, you could probably make this a fairly entertaining short adventure, maybe a session, 2 sessions at the most, but I can't really see this going more than just a single session. Truthfully, it's probably the low light, in my opinion, of the Weird West Companion. It's really not a selling point whatsoever. Then we'll wrap up with an index. And that is a peek inside the Deadlands Weird West Companion for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. Let's swing on over to the other camera so I can share some final thoughts and give this a review score. So I like the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition of Deadlands. I go way back with Deadlands. I've talked about this before. I picked up the original core book when it came out in the 90s. I picked up all the splats, all the dime novels, never ran it. I don't even know if we got to the point of rolling up characters. But I liked it, and I liked the meta plot that was going on throughout those years of original Deadlands. So I've got a soft spot for Deadlands, and I, as I mentioned, really do like the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition of it. I like this companion quite a bit as well. I like all the historic NPCs. I like we've got 3 new archetypes. We've got new traits. We've got new powers. We've got new edges. Really, the 2 things that I have to knock this a little bit for, the adventure I think is just, man, I would probably skip it, to be honest. It's just not very different. It's not very original. And let's be honest, a lot of times adventures that would pop up in gaming magazines outside of Dragon and Dungeon and maybe different worlds back in the day were rather lackluster in the first place. So, gotta ding it a little bit because I think the included adventure is weak. And at 96 pages, $24.99, I think is a little pricey, especially since you're not getting the PDF. So if you are on a budget and you are interested in picking up the companion, which I certainly do recommend, you might consider getting it in PDF because it's only $9.99. Now, all in all, on a scale of 0 to 10, I give the Weird West Companion for Deadlands an 8 out of 10. I really do like it. I really do recommend it. Just not a super high recommendation. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell because it'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this review, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube live at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.